It may surprise or even shock you to hear what I'm about to say, but if you're seeing this video right now, it's no accident. Life may feel like it's throwing every curveball your way, perhaps sudden challenges in finances, relationships, or even your inner emotional world. You might be questioning whether it's all worth it, or if you've somehow missed a crucial sign. Yet, the truth is, as a chosen one, your greatest growth often unfolds in moments of trial and uncertainty. Even if it feels as though the walls are closing in, this exact time in your life is leading you closer to the version of yourself you're destined to become. So, whatever is happening to you right now, keep going. Don't let the storms convince you that your journey has lost its direction. Obstacles have a habit of appearing largest just before a breakthrough, and in the quiet spaces of your heart, you already know there's more for you on the other side. If you sense even a flicker of hope, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment 77 below, signaling you're open to the transformation waiting just beyond these current trials. A door you once feared is about to open. Right now, you stand before a threshold that might seem daunting. It's the kind of entrance you used to tiptoe around, feeling its weight and your own uncertainty. Perhaps you were told you couldn't measure up, or that you lack the correct credentials, background, or luck. At some point, you started believing that narrative. Yet, as a chosen one, there's a persistent voice in the back of your mind that won't let you settle. You sense the bigger picture, even if you can't see every detail. This door, the one you've been afraid to truly push open, represents a new dimension of your potential. Behind it lies not just opportunity, but a deeper expression of who you are. It's not simply a job or relationship or major move. It's the gateway to an uncharted layer of your spirit. The door may be labeled with something that intimidates you. Maybe it's launching a new career path or speaking your truth publicly for the first time. It might be rebuilding a fractured connection with someone you care about. Whatever it is, you fear the unknown that lurks on the other side. But inside that fear is a flicker of excitement because you know stepping through it could forever alter the course of your life. Stepping closer, you realize the door isn't locked. It never was. You've held the key from the beginning, though perhaps you thought you needed someone else's permission to turn it. In fact, the only barrier has been your reluctance, and that reluctance stems from the question, what if I'm not enough? Yet your soul testifies that you are more than enough. You were designed for exactly this kind of challenge. The question then becomes not, are you worthy, but are you willing? Sure, opening the door might expose you to new levels of vulnerability, but that's part of authentic growth. Others may marvel at your courage or even question your sanity. As a chosen one, you're used to stepping outside the boundaries that society tries to place around you. Those boundaries are illusions at best. Deep within, you yearn to experience life in its fullest expression, and playing small no longer satisfies. So, the moment you gather the resolve to turn that knob, you also free yourself. The door is about to open, and once you cross that threshold, the journey you've sensed for so long will finally begin to manifest in ways you've only imagined in your most hope-filled dreams. The chaos that precedes a breakthrough. It's common to misread chaos as a sign that everything is going well. Projects stall, communications falter, finances twist in unpredictable ways, and your emotional landscape tilts from calm to turmoil in what feels like an instant. It can be tempting to interpret these misfires as signs you're on the wrong path, but for a chosen one, chaos often serves a different purpose. It disrupts complacency and jolts you into movement you've long postponed. Think of how a seed must break through its shell in the darkness of soil. The seed's entire structure changes. What was once a contained little kernel of possibility is now forced to crack open. If you observed it from the outside, you'd call it destruction, but inside that cracking is the birth of life. Similarly, your chaos might be dismantling old illusions or relationships that no longer align with your evolving path. Sometimes the unraveling of comfort zones is the only way forward. While you're in this chaotic phase, your mind can spin with doubts. Why is this happening now? Did I make a mistake? If you let yourself be consumed by those questions, you might freeze in place. Instead, realize that chaos is an amplifier. It intensifies whatever needed your attention. Maybe you were ignoring soul signs that a job or a partnership was draining your potential. The chaos forces you to confront these truths head-on, urging you to let go of what weighs your spirit down. Paradoxically, once you embrace the chaos as a catalyst, you'll see glimpses of stability underneath. New doors open as old structures crumble. A friend introduces you to a contact who can solve a problem you've wrestled with for months. You stumble upon resources or knowledge you've long sought, almost as if they arrived precisely because your desperation called them forth. That's the magic of being a chosen one. When you finally say, "I'm ready to navigate this storm," the universe responds by scattering the seeds of opportunity in your path. And yes, outsiders watching you from a distance might think you've lost control, that your life is spinning out in every direction. But you'll know it's different. You'll sense a hidden choreography at work, one that your intuition recognizes as the prelude to breakthroughs. Through tears, frustrations, or sleepless nights, you'll persist, telling yourself that if everything is falling apart, maybe it's so something better can emerge. And that trust, that unwavering spark of faith, will see you through to the calm after the storm. When the pieces settle, you'll find that you've grown into a fuller version of yourself. One who can weather life's storms with poise and glean the diamonds hidden in the wreckage. Why your strength threatens others. Often, without trying, you, the chosen one, become a mirror in which people see truths they'd rather keep hidden. When you keep going despite trials, your tenacity highlights the ways others settle. Your willingness to confront challenges head-on can make their excuses look flimsy, even to themselves. So, in times when you're forging ahead, expect that not everyone will applaud. Some may critique or trivialize your efforts, but that's only because your strength confronts them with their own sense of what's possible. It might be subtle at first. A colleague gives you a lukewarm response when you share good news. A relative shifts topics quickly whenever you mention your progress. A friend whose life once paralleled yours grows distant, possibly because seeing you advance underscores their inertia. These reactions can sting, especially when you expected support. But realize that it's less about you and more about what you represent. Change, courage, and a refusal to be boxed in by life's challenges. In many ways, your resilience can appear almost superhuman to those who never considered that adversity could be a stepping stone instead of a blockade. They might project envy, doubt, or even mild hostility, rationalizing that there must be some trick behind your perseverance. Some might even think you're lucky, or that you've had advantages they didn't. They can't grasp the silent internal battles you fought, and you don't always need to explain. Let your deeds stand on their own. Oddly enough, this tension can be beneficial. It forces you to clarify your boundaries. Are you going to dim your glow to keep others comfortable, or let your unwavering spirit shine as it's meant to? Your choice matters. If you shrink back, you send a message that you're second-guessing your own path. If you stand firm, you declare without words that you are not apologizing for fulfilling your destiny. Over time, some of the same individuals who seem threatened might circle back, drawn by an inexplicable curiosity. They might want to understand how you endure, how you remain calm or dedicated when faced with hurdles that would paralyze others. And here is where you might gently reveal pieces of your journey. Whether they can truly comprehend or not is secondary. At least they'll see that your strength isn't about crushing anyone else. It's about living the truth you feel in your core. Of course, not everyone will come around. Some will resist the transformation you exemplify until the end. But that's no reason to slow down. If anything, it's a reminder that each person's path is unique, and you can't control how they respond to your evolution. After all, your purpose isn't to manage their feelings, but to honor your calling. The more comfortable you get with that reality, the less reactive you'll be to outside skepticism. You'll keep going, not from a place of defiance, but from a place of self-acknowledged power. Your unwavering commitment stands as a silent invitation for others to awaken to their own potential, if they so choose. When you feel on the verge of quitting, it's almost inevitable that you'll face a moment where surrender seems appealing, perhaps even logical. You've fought battles on multiple fronts. Exhaustion is real, your resources might be dwindling, and the finish line remains invisible. In those times, the mind can betray you with arguments like, "You've tried hard enough, why not just back off?" Or, "Maybe you ain't too high." The temptation to pack it in grows stronger with each disappointment or each betrayal you face. Yet, if you step back and observe, you'll see a pattern repeated time and again in the stories of those who eventually triumph. Their greatest victory often emerges precisely at the point when they nearly gave up. That emotional trough can be a crucible, a test to see if your determination is solid enough to hold until the dawn. And as a chosen one, your threshold for adversity is higher than you might believe. You were designed not to crumble under life's weight, but to transform under it. At your darkest hour, you might think no help is coming, but help often arrives in the most unexpected ways. An encouraging message from a friend, an unforeseen financial break, or a surge of clarity during prayer or meditation. While the specifics differ, the effect is the same. You realize there's a hand guiding you, a glimpse of assurance that your path is not in vain. These little miracles can be the lifeline that pulls you from the edge of despair back onto firmer ground. Part of you might worry that continuing is only setting yourself up for more pain. That's the fear talking. Pain is part of growth, but it's not the whole story. Each challenge shakes your character, toughens your spirit, and sculpts your perspective so you can handle greater responsibilities once you break through. If you look around, you'll find that many who gave up did so just before their circumstances could shift. It's not an accident that phrases like "darkest before the dawn" persist in our collective wisdom. They reflect a truth about how transformation so often unfolds. Additionally, acknowledging your sense of weariness can help. You can openly say, "I'm tired, but I'm still choosing to press on." That honesty is powerful. It prevents you from burying your stress or ignoring your emotional toll. You might even grant yourself a brief pause, an afternoon of rest or a day off from ceaseless striving, because breaks can rekindle your sense of purpose. The key is not to interpret a pause as giving up. Rather, it's an act of self-preservation, a chance to replenish so your forward momentum remains sustainable. So if you find yourself at that precarious place where quitting almost seems rational, remind yourself that the seeds of greatness often sprout from adversity's toughest soil. There's no need to demonize your exhaustion. You can treat it as an honest signal that you need a strategic breather or a fresh approach, not a full abandonment of your calling. When tomorrow comes, and it always does, you realize you're still standing. And with each sunrise that reveals you haven't yielded, your resolve becomes a beacon for your own soul, lighting the next step forward. Small victories build a greater whole. In the thick of difficulty, it's easy to obsess over the grand outcome you're chasing. A major career leap, a life-altering move, or the complete mending of a long-fractured relationship. Yet the real momentum may lie in celebrating smaller wins along the way. Each daily triumph, no matter how modest, accumulates into the breakthroughs you crave. Whether it's finishing a minor task on an otherwise chaotic day, choosing a healthier meal over fast food, or sending that important email despite your nerves, small acts become the stepping stones that fortify your spirit. In your mind, you may discount these little steps as trivial, but taking them fosters continuity. Picture them as bricks in a wall that's ultimately meant to protect a sacred inner fortress. One brick doesn't seem like much, but keep stacking them, and eventually you construct an unreachable defense. It's to these incremental efforts that you transform your identity. I am someone who sees tasks through. I'm capable of steady growth. Each time you reaffirm that self-concept, your aura brightens, reinforcing your sense of stability. These small successes also serve as emotional anchors. Whenever the tides of doubt rise, you can recall the times you overcame lesser hurdles. The memory of success in miniature form can quell the fears swirling around bigger challenges. Reminding yourself, I completed that tough deadline last month, or I stuck to my budget all week, can neutralize the anxiety telling you it's impossible to handle the next big wave. You accumulate evidence that you're not just lucky, you're effective. That factual self-awareness helps combat the illusions your insecurities might spin. From a spiritual perspective, each small victory signals to the universe that you're serious about your calling. You're not a passive dreamer waiting to be rescued by fate. You're an active participant, taking the tangible steps you can control. This synergy between your daily actions and a broader cosmic alignment magnetizes support from unseen rounds. In short, your consistent micro-achievements broadcast your readiness for larger opportunities to unfold. Of course, the flip side is that small lapses can also build in the opposite direction. If left unchecked, ignoring your workout routine or procrastinating on tasks might seem insignificant, but repeated enough times, they create a pattern that saps your momentum. The good news is that even minor course corrections restore your path. Realizing that daily discipline and small mindful choices are actually the cornerstone of fulfilling your destiny can remove any illusions that your journey is purely about monumental leads. So, whenever you feel overshadowed by the bigger goals or stuck in a grueling season, focus on small tasks you can manage immediately. Do one thing you've been avoiding, tidy a single corner of your life. Encourage yourself that a series of these modest moves will, over time, become the unstoppable wave that crashes through every barrier. Each little success is a rehearsal for the grand finale, and each time you succeed in something small, you prove to yourself yet again that your forward motion is unstoppable if you simply refuse to give in. Staying connected to your inner compass. While you keep going through life's trials, there's one essential element you cannot overlook: maintaining a solid link to your inner compass. It's that quiet but sure sense that tells you when something feels right or wrong, aligned or askew. As a chosen one, your intuition is more than a personal hunch. It's the voice of your higher self guiding you along the path you're meant to walk. In periods of overwhelm or confusion, listening to that inner voice can mean the difference between forging ahead with clarity and stumbling aimlessly through the dark. The challenge is that in times of stress, your mind can become so filled with practical concerns that you ignore subtle intuitive nudges. You might be so absorbed in deadlines and obligations that you dismiss the gentle promptings of your heart, labeling them as impractical or naive. But ironically, it's precisely in stressful circumstances that your intuition can be most crucial. Your rational mind sees only logic, numbers, or schedules. Your inner compass sees the overall energy, where the momentum is, where the hidden traps lie, and which choices will bring you the greatest peace and progress. How do you keep that compass active? One way is regular quiet time, moments of reflection, meditation, or simply mindful breathing. Even 5 minutes a day can recalibrate your emotional frequency. In those few minutes, you allow the mental noise to settle just enough to sense what your deeper self has been trying to communicate. Another approach is journaling. Writing your thoughts and feelings helps you notice patterns or recurring signals you might otherwise ignore. And in real-world scenarios like being in a meeting or confronted with a sudden choice, train yourself to take a brief internal pause. Ask, how does this feel deep down? That simple question can reveal truths logic alone can't. Sometimes your intuition might direct you to step back from an enticing opportunity or to trust a path others call risky. That can be tough if you fear judgment or disappointment, yet ignoring that guidance often leads to regret. Alternatively, following your intuition might lead to short-term confusion as you let go of what no longer serves you. People around you might question your decisions, but remember, your path isn't a democracy. If your inner compass is pointing a specific way, you owe it to yourself to trust it, even if outward signs aren't fully clear. Over time, as you observe the outcome of honoring your intuition, you gather ample evidence that it rarely misleads you. On the contrary, it steers you toward precisely the lessons and blessings you need at each stage. Yes, the path might zigzag. Sometimes you'll wonder if you took a wrong turn, but in hindsight, you'll see how each twist and detour carved out your unique story, shaping you into the chosen one you're called to be. So keep going through uncertainty, through external pressures, and keep your inner compass near. It's your spiritual GPS, unwavering even when the roads appear unmarked or misshrouded. Facing the future with unbreakable resolve, after all the trials, the doubts, and the small victories that have kept you afloat, you arrive at a point where you can practically feel your soul whisper, "Look how far you've come." The storms may not be fully over, but you're no stranger to the process of navigating them. As a chosen one, you accept that growth comes in waves, some gentle, others torrential. But you also carry forward the knowledge that no storm can outlast your determination. The future extends before you like an open field. You might have a roadmap, or you might be forging a new trail. What matters is the quiet conviction in your heart that you can and will handle what lies ahead. Does that conviction guarantee comfort or ease? Not always. Struggles might still appear, but you've learned that your strength doesn't come from avoiding struggles. It stems from meeting them head-on, gleaning lessons, and pressing forward with renewed vigor. And so you step forward. You might feel remnants of old anxieties trying to tug at your sleeves, but you shrug them off like outdated garments that no longer fit. Each new dawn becomes a reminder of the power you hold, the power to shape your day with positive thought, discipline, action, and a steadfast focus on the bigger picture. The small noise of critics or cynics fades into background static, overshadowed by the louder call of your destiny. You're too engaged in your purpose to be deterred by their doubts. Surprisingly, you'll discover that living with unbreakable resolve also opens your heart to compassion. You understand what it means to endure life's obstacles, so you're more patient with those who stumble. Instead of judgment, you offer empathy or a helping hand where you can. This generosity doesn't weaken you. It strengthens the cycle of good energy you're putting out. It's part of your unique gift as a chosen one. You stand as a testament to perseverance, inspiring others that they too can keep going. Ultimately, you might not even notice the moment you cross the threshold from coping with adversity to thriving despite everything. It sneaks up on you in small increments, a lighter heart here, a more assured decision there. One day you look back and see a trail of obstacles that once looked insurmountable, now just landmarks of how far you've traveled. That's when you realize you've become the living embodiment of that simple yet powerful phrase, keep going. Where does the journey lead from here? The possibilities multiply the further you wander from your old limits. New vistas, new connections, new layers of self-knowledge, all beckon, and you walk toward them not in frantic urgency, but with calm, unwavering steps, trusting that whatever arises, challenge or blessing, you have within you the spirit to endure, to adapt, and to flourish. There's a certain beauty in that trust and believing wholeheartedly that no matter what happens next, you will greet it as the chosen one you are and keep.